Hello, on this video we're going to look at how to appropriately use an AED on a person who isn't breathing. It is important that the ambulance is sent for whether we have an AED or not. We still need the ambulance on the way, that's very, very important. But having got the AED on scene, what we need to do is know how to use it in a safe and appropriate manner. First of all, we would switch the AED on. All AEDs work in the same way. They vary in shape, they vary in size, they vary in colour, but they are generic and they will operate in the same way. They actually speak to you and they give you the command. So, in a sense, the machine actually takes the control of the situation. When we say AED, I'm talking about Automated External Defibrillators. Automated External Defibrillators, the key word there is automated, which means the machine makes the decisions. You do not need to know anything about the anatomy of the person in order to operate this machine. You just listen to the voice prompt. So the first thing we do is expose the chest. Remove clothing from the chest. You cannot defibrillate somebody who's got clothes on. You need to expose the chest. The AED will then tell you to remove the pads from the machine and place them on the person's chest. There is a specific place that the pads will go, but it is clearly demonstrated in pictures on the actual pads themselves. The pads have an adhesive on the back, so what we would do is we'd peel the adhesive off and place the pad in the appropriate position. Okay? Some AEDs will ask you to plug the other end of the cable into the machine, but most of them are already fitted to the machine, so it's just a case of placing the pads on. Once the pads are on, the machine now really takes control of the situation, and it will tell you to stop CPR at this point if CPR has been continuous up until the AED arrived. This is because the machine needs the person to be still and stationary while it can analyse. And it will analyse the condition of the casualty's heart. So the good news is, if the patient does actually have a heartbeat, you can't do them any harm. These machines are very, very safe to use, and they are sort of foolproof, for want of a better expression. So lay people with no prior experience can safely use these machines without fear of causing anyone any harm. If the machine decides that the heart is in a shockable rhythm, it will give you a command of do not touch the patient. Okay? The machine will then charge up and there will be an audible bleeping and the shock button will flash on and off. Okay? And the command will be given to press the shock button now. Your role at this point is to make sure that no one is in contact with the casualty, because there is a risk that they may get a shock if that's the case. So make sure no one's in contact and then you press the shock button. The shock will be administered, the patient will give a slight movement of the body, and then the machine will then give you the next command, which will be to start CPR again. So really all we need to do with these machines is to follow the commands that the machine is giving us, the verbal commands. After each shock, there will be 2 minutes of CPR. So after the initial shock, there will be 2 minutes the machine will take to commence CPR. If during that period of time the condition changes and we have a heartbeat again, which is a positive outcome, the machine will become aware of this and it will tell you to stop CPR and look for signs of circulation. Which means we have a positive outcome, so then we check for breathing. If the patient is breathing, we leave the pads attached, we place them in the recovery position and we monitor, but leave the pads attached because the machine, as well as delivering the shock, is also a monitoring box and it will monitor the condition. So if the person goes back into cardiac arrest, the machine will let us know this and we start from stage 1 basically, back into CPR. So really, to sum up, it's just a case of remaining calm, start your CPR, get an ambulance on the way. When the AED turns up, remove the patient's clothing from the chest. If the patient was profusely sweating prior to the collapse, use a towel, just dry down the chest area, because the pads don't like sticking to a damp chest. If we have a man with a particularly hairy chest, it may be a case that you have to scrape some of the chest hair away in order to get good adhesion from the pads, but again the machine will advise you on this. So you just follow the prompt from the machine, keep calm and just do exactly what it says, and you really can't go wrong. Thanks again for watching. Hope you found that useful, and I'll see you again soon.